Ready to see the future through the lens of the past? Welcome to Endtime Prophecy Stories. Here we dive deep into ancient mysteries and uncover what lies ahead in a world filled with uncertainty. But we can't do it without you. If you want to stay prepared and never miss a revelation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. And if you find value in these stories, give this video a like. It helps us reach more truth seekers just like you. Now let's open the seal on today's story. The False Prophet, Nuclear Reset. Chapter 1, The Lion's Den. The Vatican Supply Depot in Sector 7, formerly the outskirts of Baltimore, was a fortress of white polymer and plasteel, a gleaming scar on the war-torn landscape. It didn't look like a warehouse. It looked like a cathedral dedicated to the god of logistics. Inside, the wealth of the nations was hoarded: grain, antibiotics, clean water, and the advanced tech the Unity Accord used to keep the population docile. Jace Vance watched the perimeter from a drainage culvert 600 yards away, his digital binoculars cutting through the heavy, humid density of the night air. "She's at the checkpoint," Jace whispered into his comms. "Copy." Amara's voice came back, tight with tension. She was underground, tapping into the fiber optic trunk line. "Biometrics are cycling. If they flagged her as missing in action, the turrets will cut her in half in 3 seconds. Elena stood at the blast doors. She wore the pristine white uniform of a peacekeeper captain, stripped from a dead officer they'd found in the skirmish weeks ago. She looked calm, but Jace knew her heart rate was likely spiking off the charts. She raised her wrist to the scanner. Beep! The massive doors hissed open. "She's in," Jace said, letting out a breath he didn't know he was holding. "Alpha Team, move up. Silence is golden." Jace, Tyrell, and a small squad of resistance fighters moved like shadows across the cracked asphalt. They wore scramble suits, ponchos lined with thermal reflective mylar to confuse the drone swarms. Elena had done her part. She had looped the internal security feed for the loading bay, giving them a 10-minute window. Inside, the air smelled of ozone and lavender, a synthetic scent pumped in to mask the smell of the decaying city outside. They moved past pallets of Unity meal crates. "Grab the meds first," Jace ordered, his voice a low growl. "Insulin, antibiotics, surgical kits. Leave the food for the second run." As the team loaded the duffel bags, Elena met them by the service elevator. She looked pale, her eyes darting to the security cameras she had compromised. "You have 5 minutes," she hissed. "There's a high-level audit team on the upper level." Cardinals don't audit supply depots," Jace frowned, sensing the shift in the atmosphere. "They do when the depot is a front," Elena said, handing Jace a data drive. "I plugged into the main server to clear my clearance codes." "Jace, you need to see what else is on there." "Later," Jace said, pocketing the drive. "Right now we survive." Chapter 2, The Ledger of Death. Back in the safety of the deep mines, the team huddled around Amara's terminal. The air was thick with the smell of unwashed bodies and kerosene. Jace plugged in the drive Elena had stolen. Files cascaded across the screen. Not just logistics, population metrics. "Look at this," Amara said, her voice trembling. "Project Thanatos. They aren't just sterilizing people with the food. That was the slow kill. This is the fast kill." The screen displayed a map of the plane. Red zones marked high resistance density. Blue zones marked compliant. The plan detailed the deployment of autonomous hunter-killer drones equipped with facial recognition and lethal injection darts. But it was the numbers that made Jace's stomach turn. Target population, 500 million. Current population, 6.2 billion. Projected timeline, 2050. "It's too slow," Jace muttered, reading the executive summary attached to the file. Read the notes from the director." Amara scrolled down. The notes were written in a sharp, arrogant syntax. "The herd is thinning, but the immune system of the old world is resisting. The fear of the guillotines is losing its potency. The deep fakes of the executions are being debunked by underground truther networks. We need a catalyst, a reset event that requires no faith, only survival." "They know the videos are fake?" Tyrell asked, leaning on his rifle. "They know we know," Jace corrected. "The fear isn't working because people are waking up. When the sheep stop fearing the wolf stops playing games." Elena sat in the corner, staring at the screen. Her face was a mask of horror. She had been a crusader, a believer in the system, thinking she was fighting for a holy cause. Now, seeing the raw math of genocide, something inside her fractured. They call us biomass," Elena whispered. "Not souls, not people, biomass." "That's all we are to them," Jace said, his voice hard but not unkind. "Fuel for their machine." Chapter 3. The Broken Cistern. Elena stood abruptly, knocking her chair over. She bolted for the tunnel exit, not towards the outside, but deeper into the cavern where the underground stream ran. Jace signaled the others to stay put and followed her. He found her by the water, on her knees, sobbing. It wasn't the panic of a captive. It was the grief of a believer who had just found out her god was a devil. "I killed for them," Elena choked out, clutching the silver cross she still wore. "I hunted families. I thought I was protecting the kingdom. The priests told us it was necessary. They quoted scripture." "The devil can quote scripture for his own purpose," Jace said, standing over her. "He did it in the wilderness with Christ. He's doing it now." Elena ripped the cross from her neck and threw it into the dark water. "It's all a lie. The church, the rituals, the smoke. It's just a control mechanism. I'm hollow, Jace. I'm damned." Jace knelt beside her. "You were part of the Laodicean age, Elena. Rich and increased with goods, and have need of nothing. But you were wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. We all were." He pulled a small tattered Bible from his vest, the one Amara had saved. "But you aren't damned," Jace said. "You're just awake. The system you served is the whore of Babylon. It rides the beast. But you can come out of her." Elena looked up, her eyes red. "How? How can God forgive what I did?" "By the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony," Jace said. "You stopped being a crusader the moment you stole those files. You're with the Remnant now. The true church isn't a building in Rome or anywhere else, Elena. It's the people in the caves, keeping the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus." Elena took a breath, the shaking subsiding. She looked at Jace, not as a captor, but as a brother. "I know where the meeting is," she said softly. "The drive. It had a schedule. The director and the Black Pope. They're meeting in Geneva, underground." Chapter 4. The Architect. High above the ruins of the old world, in a suborbital station that defied the density of the atmosphere, Adrian Thorne looked down at the flat plane of the Earth. Thorne was not a politician like Sterling. He was something far worse. He was an architect of reality. A 33rd degree Freemason, he had made his fortune selling Christian survival gear to the very people he secretly despised, fleecing the flock before leading them to the slaughter. He had stolen the technology for Pertholite, the programmable matter that made the surveillance dust possible, from a brilliant young inventor whom he had subsequently erased. He turned from the viewing port. His office was a sanctuary of dark glass and chrome. In the center of the room stood a containment unit. Inside was Agent 5. It wasn't fully human anymore. It was a fusion of biological tissue and quantum circuitry, a vessel prepared for a specific spiritual entity. Thorne had spent billions developing the neural link interface that allowed a human mind to process the sheer volume of data from the worldwide surveillance grid. "Status," Thorne said. Agent 5 opened its eyes. They were entirely black, no sclera, no iris, just the void. "The simulation is complete, Father," Agent 5 spoke. The voice was a chorus of synthetic tones. "The variable of human resistance is higher than anticipated. The guillotine protocol has a 40% failure rate due to martyrdom dynamics. When you kill them publicly, their resolve strengthens." Thorne nodded, sipping a glass of water. "Martyrs are messy. The Black Pope is impatient. He wants the world purified for the arrival." Thorne walked to the console. He was a transhumanist, believing that through technology, man could ascend to godhood. He had fused his own nervous system with the Pertholite network, allowing him to feel the data streams of the world. "We need a solution that removes the choice," Thorne said. "Persecution offers them a choice: recant or die. Too many are choosing to die with dignity. We need to take away the dignity." "I have calculated a new trajectory," Agent 5 said. "The Megiddo Option." Chapter 5: The Acceleration. The Black Pope, Arturo Ricci, sat in the war room beneath the Vatican. The walls were lined with ancient tapestries depicting the crushing of heretics, but the table before him was a surface of hard light displaying real-time troop movements. Thorne flickered into existence, a holographic projection from his station. "Your methods are archaic, Arturo," Thorne said, his voice echoing in the stone chamber. "The videos of the beheadings? Amateur. The Resistance has already proven they are deep fakes. You are losing the narrative." Ricci's eyes narrowed. "Fear is the oldest tool of control, Adrian. It works." "It works on the cowards," Thorne countered. "It does not work on the elect, and the elect are the problem. They are spreading their gospel of the kingdom. They are warning the people about the Sunday law before we can fully enforce it. We are running out of time." Ricci tapped the table. "The population is still at 6 billion. The target is 500 million. The starvation protocols are too slow. The sterilization is effective but generational. We need a sudden drop in numbers." "Precisely," Thorne smiled, a cold, shark-like expression. "The time for subtle manipulation is over. We tried to boil the frog slowly. Now, it's time to smash the pot." "What do you propose?" Ricci asked. "Agent 5 has run the simulations," Thorne said. "Nuclear exchange. Controlled. Precise. We target the high-density population centers, the useless eaters, the resistance strongholds, the areas where the fundamentalists are hiding." "That would destroy the infrastructure," Ricci objected. "We need a world to rule, not a cinder." "Not with the Neutron X warheads," Thorne corrected. "High radiation, low blast yield. It kills the biologicals, leaves the buildings. We stay underground in the deep cities we've built for the last 20 years. We wait out the half-life. 3 years, maybe 4. When we emerge, the population is reset, the resistance is vaporized, and we return as the saviors to rebuild." Ricci sat back, steepling his fingers. He was a Jesuit, a man of long plans. This was drastic, but the scriptures of his order demanded the end justifies the means. "Bring the proposal to the council," Ricci said. "Tonight." Chapter 6: The Megiddo Option. Agent 5 stood before the holographic map in Thorne's office. It raised a hand, and the map turned red. "The solution requires a synchronized launch," the entity explained to Thorne. "We utilize the tension we have already manufactured between the Eastern Coalition and the Western Alliance. We trigger a false flag event, a cyber attack on the nuclear silos of both sides. We make them launch at each other. "And the defense grids?" Thorne asked. "Disabled," Agent 5 said. "I have the backdoor codes. The missiles will find their targets. 90% casualty rate in the northern hemisphere within 24 hours. The southern hemisphere will succumb to radiation drift and nuclear winter within 6 months." Thorne looked at the projection of the burning plane. It was beautiful in a terrible way. "And the faithful?" Thorne asked. "The ones hiding in the mountains? The ones Jace Vance is leading?" "They are biological," Agent 5 said dismissively. "Radiation treats all cells equally. They cannot pray away a neutron flux." Thorne laughed. It was a dry, rasping sound. "Excellent. Prepare the launch protocols. We present it to the elites at 2200 hours. Chapter 7. The Council of 10. The meeting took place in Geneva, in a bunker a mile beneath the surface of the Earth. The room was round, with 10 thrones arranged in a circle. These were the kings of the Earth, the financial, political, and religious elite. The Black Pope sat at the head. Thorne stood in the center, flanked by the silent, imposing figure of Agent 5. "The plan is simple," Thorne addressed the room. "Operation Red Horse. We initiate in 30 days. We move our essential personnel and resources to the deep underground military bases, DUMS. We seal the doors. Then, Agent 5 initiates the launch." He displayed the casualty projections. "In 1 day, we solve the overpopulation crisis. In 1 day, we eliminate the carbon footprint issue. In 1 day, we erase the fundamentalist Christians and their Bible memory." Most of the elites nodded. They were psychopaths, detached from humanity, viewing the population as livestock. They sipped their aged wine and looked at the charts of death as if they were quarterly earnings reports. But one man, Elias Bain, the head of the Euro-Asian Energy Consortium, looked pale. He was an older man, one who had bought into the saving the planet narrative, but had not realized the price was total annihilation. This is madness," Bain stammered. "We are talking about billions, innocent people, children, the workforce." "The workforce is obsolete," Thorne said coldly. "Robotics and AI have replaced the need for human labor. They are just mouths now, Elias." "But the radiation," Bain argued, standing up. "It will poison the water table. It will take decades to clear. We can't rule a graveyard." The Black Pope looked at Bain with eyes like flint. "It is not a graveyard, Elias. It is a tabula rasa, a blank slate. Do you lack the conviction to do what must be done for the greater good?" "I lack the stomach for murder on this scale," Bain shouted. "I won't support this. I will veto the energy grid override. You can't launch without my keys." The room went deadly silent. "A veto," Thorne said softly. "I see." Chapter 8. The Silencing. The meeting adjourned with a tense standoff. Bain stormed out, flanked by his private security. "He's going to talk," Raichi said to Thorne as the doors closed. "He won't get the chance," Thorne replied. He looked at Agent 5. "Handle it." Bain made it to his private hyperlift. He was sweating, his hands shaking as he reached for his comms device to call his family, to warn them. "Dad?" His daughter's voice came through. "What's wrong?" "Pack," Bain gasped. "Pack everything. Get to the Highlands. Don't ask questions, just..." The lift stopped between floors. The lights died. From the ventilation shaft above, a shadow dropped. It wasn't a man. It was a drone, a spider-like construct of black metal. Bain screamed as the drone latched onto his face. A microneedle injected a synthetic neurotoxin that mimicked a massive cardiac arrest. By the time the lift reached the surface, Elias Bain was dead. The official report would say, heart failure due to the stress of the burden of leadership. His cryptographic keys were automatically transferred to the next in line, a puppet of the Black Pope. Thorne watched the biomonitor flatline on his wrist display. "The obstacle is removed," Thorne said. "The launch is set for 30 days. Chapter 9. The Watchman's Cry. Deep in the Appalachian mines, the printer whirred to life. Elena had kept a back door open, a risky, tenuous connection to the Vatican server she had accessed. She had set a trigger for any file labeled with the specific encryption key she had seen on Thorne's drive. "Jace!" she yelled, her voice echoing down the tunnel. Jace and Amara sprinted into the comms room. Elena tore the paper from the printer, her hands shaking. "They killed Bane," she said. "The energy mogul. He died an hour ago. And then, this order went out." She slammed the paper on the table. "Operation Red Horse. Execution date, T-29 days. Nuclear," Jace breathed, reading the codes. "They're going to nuke the plane. They're giving up on controlling us," Amara realized, horror dawning on her face. "They're just going to flush the toilet." "We have to warn the network," Tyrell said. "We have to get people underground." 30 days, Jace said, pacing. "We can't save everyone. We can only save those who will listen." They fired up the transmitter. This time, they didn't care about triangulation. They broadcast on every frequency: shortwave, ham radio, hijacked satellite feeds. "This is the Watchman," Jace's voice boomed across the static of the dying world. "The sword is coming. This is not a drill. They are planning a nuclear reset in 29 days. If you are in a city, get out. If you are on the surface, go deep. Do not wait for the government to save you. The government is the one pushing the button." The message went out worldwide, but the response was heartbreaking. In the cities, people watched the warning on their screens and laughed. They were comfortable. The system fed them, entertained them, and told them that Jace Vance was a terrorist conspiracy theorist. They trusted the Unity Accord. They believed the peace and safety rhetoric. "They aren't listening," Amara said, tears streaming down her face as she monitored the social credit feeds. "They're mocking us. They're making memes about the doom preachers." "As it was in the days of Noah," Jace said, his face grim. "They were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the flood came and took them all away. We keep broadcasting, Amara. Even if only one person listens, it's worth it." Chapter 10. The Hammer Falls. The month passed in a blur of frantic preparation. The resistance cells that believed the warning moved deep into the earth, into old iron mines, limestone caverns, and bunkers prepared by preppers years ago. Jace, Amara, Tyrell, Elena, and their team sealed themselves into the deepest level of the Appalachian system, behind 3 feet of lead and 10 feet of concrete. On the surface, the elite retreated to their luxury dumbs, sipping champagne as the countdown reached 0. At 12 p.m. on a Tuesday, the sky opened up. It wasn't a war between nations. It was a slaughter of the people by their rulers. Missiles launched from automated silos in the Dakotas, in Siberia, in the Unity Zone. They arced high into the firmament, then fell. Inside the bunker, Jace and the team felt the earth shake. It was a deep, guttural rumble that vibrated through their bones. The lights flickered and died, replaced by the red glow of the emergency backups. Dust fell from the ceiling. "It's done," Jace whispered in the dark. Above them, cities were vaporizing. The Laodicean churches, the megamalls, the surveillance centers, all turning to ash in the blink of an eye. The people who had refused to listen, who had clung to the comfort of the system, were gone. Elena wept softly in the corner. "The world, it's gone." Jace put a hand on her shoulder. He looked at Amara, then at the rest of the survivors huddled in the dark. "The world we knew is gone," Jace said, his voice steady in the trembling dark. "The time of the end is over. The population has been reset." He lit a lantern, the flame casting long shadows on the rock walls. "But we are still here," Jace said. "And when we open those doors, in a year, or 3, or 10, it won't be the time of the end anymore. It will be the end times. The beast will have total control of what's left, and we will need to be ready." He placed his Bible on the crate in the center of the circle. "Sharpen your swords," Jace said. "The tribulation has just begun." End of Part 4.
For more Bible-based end-time prophecy dramas to strengthen your faith and the faith of others, help spread the word by supporting the channel. Please like, subscribe, and share.